So Austin says he's coming home with something big to help with the trusses. Let's see what it is. Okay guys, so where our gable ends are is what we need to start with, and they are in the middle of that stack. So we have to start unloading from the top down. We're going to put those onto the ground, that way we'll have our gable end out, because that's what we need to start with. So let's see if we can get Western and get this bundle taken apart. Alright guys, welcome back to Homestead Hopes. So in this video, Austin brought home a scissor lift. We'll talk more about that later, what we're going to use it for. And in our last video, we got our delivery of trusses. So here we are just sorting through and getting the ones out we're going to need first. So we need the gable end trusses exposed out of this big pile of trusses first, because that's going to be the first one we start with down on the west side of the house. So that's what we're doing here. We're just sorting through and getting out everything, making it more organized so it's easier to get to, because these things are heavy. So like I said before, it just so happens that they are in the middle of this stack. So it's all hands on deck trying to get all of them moved so we can get to the first one, because at this point we are ready to start getting the trusses up on the house and start getting this thing dried in. All right guys, welcome to Homestead Hopes. So the time has finally arrived. We have our trusses. So we are going to start out right now getting a plan together on how we're going to get those big trusses up there. So we're going to start out there on that gable end, and Austin's going to explain the equipment we're going to use and the technique we're going to try. This can be trial and error. We don't know if this is going to work. It's just him and I and the kids tonight. We're going to have more help tomorrow, but we want to see what it's like to try and put one up. So let's hear what Austin has to say.
All right, so I put 3 tall braces on that end right there. That way when I flip that first truss up, it has something to land against and we're not knocking it off the other side of the house. The first one's gonna be the hardest one, the first couple actually. And then how we're gonna get these up here, my plan is, if this works, you'll see it. If not, I'm gonna delete it because there's probably gonna be some bad words involved. But my plan is to bring the trusses on this end of the house right here. I'm gonna go up with this scissor lift, put a strap on the truss from the inside the house, lift it up, and get it to sit down on these top plates. Once we get on these top plates, we're gonna pull it down there by hand. It shouldn't be that hard to pull once it's in on the top plates. If not, if we can't get it by hand, we'll use a scissor lift and pull it down there. We got people coming to help tomorrow, but I'm gonna try the first one by myself, and that way I know it works. I don't want it to not work, and I got 5 or 10 people here to help me, so I just want to make sure it works before I got all hands on deck tomorrow.
Okay, so as I said before, these things are super heavy. So right here, we as a family brought the truss over to the east end of the house, and as you'll notice, it is sitting upright how it will stand on the house. Austin took some heavy duty straps and secured it to the scissor lift, and then he is lifting the truss up and laying it over onto the house. So after we got it up on the top plate of the house, we did actually have to take a couple studs out of this wall right here that you see the scissor lift up against, so it could drive through that opening. And he just simply started pulling it across the top plate by driving the scissor lift forward. And it was working pretty well until we needed to do something different.
All right, so we added this little temporary support wall in here because the living room is 34 foot long, wide, whatever. And this truss was sagging really bad, and it was sagging so far, it was about to fall off the outside wall. So we added this in here just enough to hold the truss up while we get to the bedroom wall. Once we're done with the bedroom wall, the living room area, we'll take all this stuff out of here. It's actually some of the studs that we cut out of the wall to get the scissor lift through the wall.
So after we added that support wall, everything seemed to be going pretty smooth. You'll see the kids and I here with some 2x4s, and if one side would start to fall off of one top plate, we would just go over and lift it up and put it back on there. Most of the weight was supported already on the frame of the house, so it wasn't that hard to lift once it was up there. But as with any project, there came some hiccups. So you'll see right here we've encountered another hiccup. All right, guys, so yesterday we called it quits for the day. We did get the truss up there, but we weren't able to get it stood. Like I said, this is trial and error. So when we took the truss up, we should have took the point up facing towards the east rather than the west. So it would have been easier to stand it up. So right now we're just trying to get it stood up and into place. And then now we know how we need to bring the next one up. So after we figured out that we had taken it up the wrong direction, we had to do a little finagling here, but we used the boards again to just inch the truss towards those 3 braces that you saw Austin put up at the beginning of the video. And then once we got it inched close enough, we kind of drove the scissor lift forward so it would force it against those boards so we could nail it. So after a lot of brainstorming and a lot of work, we finally got that thing stood up, and Austin was able to fasten it to those 3 braces, and it looked great on the house. It just gave the house a whole new look and made it really start to look like our home. So here we are, just getting everything attached and getting it secured. That way we can move on to the next trusses that we have to bring up. And like I said, trial and error, we figured out what to do next. And I almost forgot to mention, we brought in reinforcements. So that's John on the scissor lift. He has been crucial to getting these trusses up because he's so agile and fearless that he just climbs right up there and does all of the scary work, and we are so appreciative of him. So Austin got the scissor lift backed out of our bedroom and back into the garage so we could get the next truss up. And this is Papa and Minnie. They're always here for support. They bring us refreshments, keep us hydrated, and Austin's dad is always there for him to give him advice when he's making decisions on how to build this house great. And then Katie and Fisher showed up. Katie is our daughter and Fisher is our future son-in-law. And bonus, they are growing our first grandbaby right now. So we're so excited about that. But they came in to help, and here they are moving this truss across the top plate. So after a lot of hard work, we finally got that other truss down at the end of the house where we needed it, and it was time to stand it. So Fisher climbed up with John, and they successfully stood the truss. That way we could get it fastened to the gable end truss, and everything seemed to be going super smooth. And we still had a lot more trusses to go, but that was a win-win for us that day. So while the rest of us were chatting and relaxing, John, Austin, and Fisher We're over there getting that other truss up on the top plate of the house so we could get it down to the other end of the house. So we got everything braced up over there like we were talking about earlier, and then here in just a moment you'll see that they just decided to start taking boards and sliding the truss across the top plate to get it down to the location where we needed it. It was much quicker than moving the scissor lift from room to room. We just basically needed the scissor lift to get it lifted up high enough onto the house where we could put boards on it and get it slid down to the location it needed to be in. But we got that done, and it was on to the next one. Alright guys, so we've been working pretty hard today. We've gotten 4 trusses up so far. Now then, we are going to just start stacking trusses on top here. That way they're ready to go for in the morning. It's too hot, everybody's worn out. So we're done working as far as standing the trusses up for today. So now the plan is just to stack them up there. That way they're ready to go in the morning when we're ready to get out here and start working. So while we were stacking these trusses on the house, Austin's mom and dad were over there grilling burgers and hot dogs. Like I said, they always kept us fully stocked on refreshments. So they were doing that while we got these things over where they needed to go so we could have them ready to go in the morning. Our plan was the next morning we were going to come out at like 5 in the morning and get started. So now we're going to show you guys in real time on the east side of the house how we move a truss over. So here comes everybody with the truss. Takes a village. And once we get it over to the house, the boys and the girls, because the girls help too, sit it down. And then we're going to put a heavy duty strap on the truss. So now everybody's gonna lift this up and put it straight against the wall. It's not gonna look perfect, but it's steady. And then John is gonna get up into the scissor lift, and he has that strap hooked to the truss, and then you'll see what he does next. So you see he's tying it to the scissor lift. All right, so the guys on the ground have some 2x4s. They don't have them in their hands just yet, but once this truss gets lifted up like this, it'll shift. And you'll see it shift here in just a minute.
Hold your side up until I get over there. Let me get in the middle so it doesn't flop down your side, okay?
Well, maybe this one won't shift, but all the other ones have. John's going up in the scissor lift, and we just flip the truss up onto the frame.
Good? Yep. right, hold up. Fisher, push yours up. There you go. There you go. You got it.
We'll go forward.
Yep, go for it.
And then John will take off driving and pull it the rest of the way on. And then you guys have been seeing the time lapsing of us using boards just to move it across the top stud plate of the house over to where we need it to go.
About 8 inches to a foot.
Well, good morning, guys. So this morning we've already came out early and put up several trusses. Remember, we had those ones laying up there last night ready to go this morning. So the crew got those installed. Now we're encountering an issue with this wall that runs across here. So we're gonna do a little redneck ingenuity, and they're gonna hook a strap to the wall there, and then they're going to use the scissor lift to pull it where it needs to go, because it needs to come forward about 1 inch, I believe. So let's see if it works.
Check it. Now do me a favor. Check a couple studs just in case that stud's different. You know what I mean?
Go check that outside wall stud too.
I mean, if it's within the middle bubbles, I'm good. But it was out. I mean, it was awful. There you go. A little more forward. Check a couple studs on that very back.
That's good.
All right, so it worked. The wall's level now. And now the guys are gonna put up some bracing just to make sure that wall stays put. And then we'll start bringing up more trusses. So here's some bracing going up on the outside of the house. And then once again, checking everything with a level. So then we just continued using the system that we had devised, and everything seemed to work just fine. No more hiccups. Everything went pretty well after that. So here we are, just stacking more trusses up, and you'll see soon that we'll be moving them down to the end of the house again. Everything just kind of started to become rinse and repeat. You do one thing and just move right on to the next thing. Just keep doing everything over and over again, and it worked out. So anyways, check out the progress. It looks amazing, and the sky is just giving us quite a show back there. But yeah, we got a lot done, and we were so proud of our helpers and just couldn't believe the progress we had made over one weekend. It was really quite amazing. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. We got a total of, I believe, 8 trusses up. So that is a good start to this. We're gonna get back at it again next weekend, possibly do some more tomorrow. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss any videos. And thank you guys for watching Homestead Hopes. We will see you next time.
Anybody can talk it. If you live it. If you don't speak on it.